Welcome.
Welcome to what, buddy? What is this? What are we doing? Welcome to Smokey and the Snobby. God. All right. Well, this is our what? This is our first episode?
Yeah, this is our first episode.
Okay. Well, what movie are we talking about today?
We are talking about Pulp Fiction today. This was my choice, by the way, I want to mention. And we want to talk about how we were introduced to this movie and how we knew about it. So let's start with, I guess, me. I've always known about Pulp Fiction for a long time because, you know, a lot of people consider it to be one of the best films of all time.
Okay.
It's one of the most influential films of all time.
Yeah.
And I actually watched it a couple months ago, actually, around December.
Oh, a Christmas movie.
Yeah. I watched it during December for some reason because, you know, and I felt like, you know what, I'm missing on a pretty important film. And I watched it and I thought it was fantastic, but I haven't seen it in months. So
What's your obsession with these older movies? I mean, how old are you?
I'm 18.
You're 18. So that movie came out, what? Almost 20 years before you were born? So what are you? Like,
nearly, believe, like...
It was 94, I think.
12 years.
Was it 12 years before you were born? Well, you're a better parent to you than I am to you, apparently. All right. So, okay. Well, yeah. So that's how you've known about this movie for quite some time. I've known about this movie for, I think a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, I think when this movie came out, you've probably known it for a long time.
And I watched it that year. Don't remember anything from the movie from that time. I remember, like you, I was like, oh, this movie's great. This and that. And I watched the movie and I just didn't understand the movie at 15. I didn't get it. And I just kind of latched on to the hype train. Yeah, it was a great movie. Embarrassed at the fact that I didn't think it was a great movie at the time. So, yeah. So, I mean, so that's my introduction. It was just in theaters. I guess, the experience of watching a movie like that in the theaters was pretty cool. But other than that, I didn't think about it again until my 18-year-old son brought up that he'd like to do a podcast. And I said, okay, let's do a podcast. And he's going into college this year as a film student. So we figured, all right, what's a great entry point to learn about, production without having to see our ugly faces than a podcast. So my ugly face, he's all right looking. And he decided that Pulp Fiction was the first one. So that's the second time I even thought of Pulp Fiction in my entire life. So here we are. So it is rated one of the best movies in cinematic history. It put Tarantino on the map, right?
Yeah, it's how a lot of people really started to recognize Tarantino as a director. And I think what made the film stand out at that time is, I think, in terms of his dialogue, it felt very unique for its time, especially for an indie film.
Was it considered an indie film?
It technically was, even if it did feature a lot of major actors. It had a pretty small budget for what it is. I think, honestly, I don't know the budget of the movie. I think it was around pretty, mid-budget film,
right.
8 million.
Yeah. That's yeah.
I could check right now.
That's not a lot of money. That's not a lot of money to produce a film. But, after watching it this second time, we'll get into it in a second. But yeah, it's got a pretty big score. I don't know what it did in the box office. I don't really care.
We should have done a bit more research, but this is our...
we're shooting from the hip. Research. Everybody can do their research. Everybody go online, look up Pulp Fiction statistics, and then tell us if you're...
I think it did pretty decent from what I remembered. It was a pretty big hit at the time.
I think obviously. It was... The cultural response to it was huge.
And we still see movies to this day very much taking inspiration from Pulp Fiction.
Right.
People like Guy Ritchie that very much took inspiration from his career.
Yeah, and made it better, in my opinion.
I don't agree.
Yeah, I know you don't agree. And but here's the thing: I didn't know what Pulp Fiction meant, right? So I was like, "Is this based on a book? Is this based on a thing?" So I looked it up. Apparently, back in the mid-century, there would be these magazines that would come out with fictional stories, and they're kind of cheesy and campy, and I guess it was based on this crappy paper that the magazines were written on. That's why they were called Pulp Fictions. Mm-hmm. So to me, I think that's a good segue into my kind of first reaction of the movie.
Yeah,
it's very pulpy.
Because in the first few minutes of the movie, it actually shows us like the definition of what pulp is, and I think it eases into the tone pretty well for the most part, even if I have no idea what pulpy magazines really were.
I don't either. So what's your first reaction to it? Like, you know, your first reaction when watching it in, you know, you're literally, the movie ends, and what were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
Yeah, what were you thinking when the movie ended? Were you happy? Were you disappointed?
I was pretty happy for the most part. I was pretty much satisfied for what I got.
It ticked all the boxes for you for movies?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part.
Well, what are your boxes? Tell me some of your boxes, because I'm very curious. So I'll tell you my boxes right after.
So what do you mean by that?
Like, it checked all the boxes for things you look for in a movie? Like
I think what
theme, plot, storyline,
I try to
characters.
look at what a movie really tries to like accomplish, and Pulp Fiction isn't like really one of those movies you really delve into like the themes or really the plot for the most part. You don't really.
Who do you think the main character was in that movie?
The thing is, it's kind of like an anthology, but it's done in such a non-linear way because it focuses on different characters in different segments. But I honestly don't even know.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, in a way, I guess you can say he is the main character, even though he doesn't really have much screen time.
No, Bruce Willis main character. Everybody else is side character. That's my first reaction.
I guess I can see what you mean by that.
Heck, maybe his French girlfriend is the main character, because she wins in all this. She gets Bruce Willis at the end. Exactly what she wanted.
Yeah. I mean, he's already had this relationship with her for a while now.
Yeah, but he had to escape his past for it. So that's the thing. Does it check all of my... So it checked all of your boxes. You liked everything about the movie. There was nothing...
Yes, for what the film was trying to be, I liked it a lot.
Okay. My first reaction was, could have cut out the first half of the movie and just made it a 45-minute movie, and it would have been awesome. Bloodshed, action.
Honestly,
great.
Even though it was a long movie, I didn't felt the length of it because I was very much engaged in the dialogue itself, and it felt very... The thing is about Pulp Fiction is that it feels real. It doesn't feel like it's just so like lifeless or like stilted or anything like that. Like these guys, like John Travolta and Samuel
I looked
Jackson.
at my watch 3 times in that movie.
My dad does not like long movies.
No, there's no need for it. There's no need for them. And my Smokey scale goes up and down a lot in this movie. But my first reaction at the end of it was, I didn't understand it the first time. I understand it now, and I'm thoroughly unhappy with the first 45 minutes of the movie.
I guess we'll talk about what our favorite segments of the movie really are.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think for me, I think the best part of the movie is when they shoot the guy in the head in the car and they're trying to figure out what the hell to do. To me, that was both funny, gory, full of action, a lot of drama involved in it. Other than that scene, nothing. I thought that whole thing with...
By the way, that is like right at the end of the movie.
Awesome. Yeah.
Which technically it is the beginning of the movie.
They could have started with that scene.
I mean,
I would have given it 8 Smokies just from that scene alone.
If you piece those segments together, that's technically the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. No, you're right. I didn't think of that. You're right. That's the beginning of the movie. They didn't have to start in a diner with 2 people talking about robbing the diner. That could have been in the middle somewhere. I don't care.
I felt like the most interesting characters in the movies was honestly Jules and Bruce Willis's character. I'm sorry if I don't remember Bruce Willis's character's name.
I'll call him Jimmy.
Yeah, these were to me the most compelling characters to me because we actually got to delve into who they are.
It's funny how you remembered what I consider not a main character's name, but you don't remember Bruce Willis's character's name, who I consider a main character. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't remember his character's name either, but I don't know. I just think my first reaction was this could have been 35 minutes shorter.
Like, what are moments you feel like should have been cut down?
That entire scene between Uma Thurman and what's his face?
John Travolta.
John Travolta.
Or Vincent.
Or Vincent, or whatever his name is.
I don't know.
That whole thing was a scene that's been... I've seen it all the time. It's the only thing about the movie I remember. And yet when I rewatched it, I'm like, this doesn't, I don't know what they're doing here.
Honestly, I felt like it made sense because it's supposed to like build a relationship between him and Mia. They have great chemistry. And it really adds a lot of emotional weight, especially later on with Mia.
Okay.
When, she gets, she's almost going to die. But I feel like one issue I have with Vincent as a character is that I wish they built this more of like personal relationship, and you never really feel that. He just does it because
it's a 2.5 hour long movie. You want another hour of just him and Uma Thurman staring at each other's eyes, high as a kite?
I don't know.
He's a drug addict, and he got her almost killed.
I felt like they had great chemistry, and the diner scene is probably like my favorite scene of the movie.
That was just the heroin talking. That wasn't chemistry. Crazy. Crazy scene.
They had great conversations, and it was pretty engaging.
Did they?
Yeah.
I remember nothing of that scene other than it dragging on for so. There's not an ounce of action. The only time there was action, poor Uma Thurman ODs from, I don't know what the hell she was doing. I don't know anything about drugs.
It's not supposed to be action driven though.
What?
It's not supposed to be. Pulp Fiction has a few like action scenes, but it's not really an action movie.
The best scenes in the movie. Anytime something blew up, that car crash scene was great. The lady getting shot trying to help Bruce Willis. That's freaking amazing. But everything else, I like the Bible quote from Samuel L. Jackson. That was funny.
Yeah, it makes him feel very philosophical in the way.
Yeah, it was some self-righteous talk from a guy who murders people for a living, which I thought was funny. And then, they kind of called it in the end where he is the monster and he is this and that, but I don't know. What do you think? Who do you think had the best performance in that movie?
That's a great question. I say, honestly, I know this sounds cliche to say, but Samuel L. Jackson was pretty great.
Oh, that's such low-hanging fruit. Such low-hanging fruit.
I think Samuel L. Jackson was by far like my favorite.
You expect that from Samuel L. You know what I mean? The expectation is already that he's going to do well in a movie like this, right?
He's great when he's working with Tarantino, and I think he's very charismatic, philosophical.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has a lot more depth than people realize, especially in the diner scene where he's talking about him thinking about retirement, trying to think of his purpose in life.
So you think Kathy Griffin's cameo wasn't great? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it sure is great.
She was not in contention?
Yeah, sure. No, but what do you think is the best performance in Pulp Fiction?
Who do I think performed the best?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I really enjoyed Harvey Keitel's character in it.
Yeah, I like that character.
I liked that he's a take charge kind of guy. He just gets in there, gets out. The way he talked to them, the way he commanded respect in his character, I thought was amazing. Right? Again, but I think it's low hanging fruit. It's Harvey Keitel. He's played that role in other movies, but I think he did really well there, and it stood out to me.
And also, too, he doesn't really have much screen time. He's only in it for a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it took for me to go, wow, he's doing really good in this role. And then, then he rides off into the sunset with, the junkyard girl. Can't beat that.
Played by Julia Sweeney, by the way.
Who?
Julia Sweeney.
It's Pat?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Julia Sweeney plays that's right, it was.
Juliet Sweeney does play that girl.
That's right.
I think the thing is about Wolf, and I think what I like about him is that he's a very.
What did she used to do? Wait, what was her tagline? Where's my phone? Give me my phone. What was Pat's tagline? Let me see.
It's Pat.
No, I don't think it was that. But yeah, I thought it was funny seeing some of those people that have gone on to become somewhat famous. Kathy Griffin being one of them. I thought it was funny. Let me see Pat SNL skit.
Yeah, he's doing. He's searching up the phrase for Pat.
It's Pat, new roommate on SNL. Oh man, I don't want to be on TikTok. It's crazy. YouTube. When did TikTok become? Well, that's just my age showing. When did TikTok become a thing?
Well, we're out of topic for a moment right now.
No, we're not. I'm looking for a tagline. This is a great character. She did a movie too.
Yeah,
so
that was.
It's a close tie between Harvey Keitel and what's her name?
Julia Sweeney.
Julia Sweeney.
I mean, like, what is there really to say about her character? She didn't really have much. She was just like...
Because you don't expect that kind of character coming out of Pat.
It's not that. It's just like the fact is she's not in the movie much.
It's okay. She did well.
Yeah, I guess she did fine. But I think just the thing is about Wolf is that he doesn't really have much screen time, but he does make the most of it. I just like the fact that he's this like mysterious character that I've not. But
Who?
Wolf. That's his name, by the way. Harvey Keitel's.
Oh, Harvey Keitel's character's name is Wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. By that point, so see, they lost me. The movie lost me right around the time the dancing started. It picked up again. My interest picked up again when they switched over to... See, I can't... The movie is so, like, it meanders so much that I can't remember which part... Like, they lost me in that whole thing where he's got to take her to dinner and they do a dance and they... This... And it's because... I don't know. It's boring. But my interest picked up again when they shot the guy in the head, and that whole scene got me back into the movie. But they lost me there for a little bit. To be honest.
Okay. I think again, my only really issue with that segment alone is really I feel like Vincent should have had a bit more growth as a character, going beyond just serving his, the boss. Because, he's there just being with Mia just because...
like why he was in Amsterdam for 3 years? You'd want to know why.
Not really, but I think just showing a bit more growth in Vincent's like growth as a character, just kind of getting away from like what the boss is telling him to do, and just telling him, hey, you should be with Mia for about an hour.
There was no depth to them. That's it. His character was just this shallow guy that he went out, he did what he was told to do, and that was it. He never had any sort of existential crisis throughout that movie. In fact, He was telling Samuel L. Jackson to knock it off. Right? So, yeah. I don't know. For me, I'd like to know more about, what was in the case. That's really, for me.
The kind of point is that it's very ambiguous. You don't really know what it is in that.
Show me what's in. Why is everybody wants the case, right?
Yeah,
everybody and their mother wants the case, yet they're leaving it open to us to interpret what's in the case. And then when they open it, it lights up. You know what that looked like to me now? You know how in those on social media, those restaurants that now come out with tomahawk steaks in the suitcase? That's what I thought was in the suitcase. I'm like, this was the start of the tomahawk steak craze. This is where these restaurants got the idea from. See, if he showed us what was in it, we wouldn't make fun of it now. Now we have to make fun of it because it's the tomahawk steak suitcase reveal. That's it.
I don't believe that's in.
What lights up in a suitcase?
I don't know.
Actually, I take it back. My first reaction after watching this movie was, why didn't they show us what was in the suitcase? It was stupid.
I don't think the movie needed to do that. I think the point is, I think it's supposed to leave up to your own interpretation.
Oh, yeah. Is that what it is? Yeah. Well, here it is. It's the tomahawk steak reveal on Instagram. That's what it is. And everybody's killing each other over it. It's a hot piece of steak. $1,000 steak. So to me, that was cringe. Show it. I don't think you don't give the audience that much creative license. They don't care enough. At least I don't care. Show me what's in it. Show me why so many people died for this case.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, of course you don't know. For you, it's artistic. It's, it's art. It's like watching, it's like looking at a Jackson Pollock and going, oh, it's a bunch of birds. No, it's not. It's just a bunch of lines. He threw some crap on the wall, and that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty, but don't try and interpret it, right? You shouldn't. If Jackson Pollock wanted birds, he would have painted birds. If Tarantino wanted to show us what's in the suitcase, he would have showed us. Or not, why the suitcase at all? Don't even open it. Why even open the suitcase? I can't. I can't with this. Yeah. What did you keep calling this movie while we were watching it? Oh, it's non-linear.
Yeah, it has a non-linear structure. Because it kind of goes back to events from like the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I think it's pretty easy to kind of piece the events together on like which one's the beginning, which one's the middle, and which one's the end. Yeah. Like, the Bruce Willis segment is technically the ending of the movie.
Yeah, where he rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, and he goes to, I
guess, by the way, spoiler alerts for anybody who hasn't seen these movies. So. And if you haven't seen these movies until now, then, spoiler alert. But yeah, that's the end of the movie, right? He rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, that's basically the end of the segment.
And I've been saying this since we've watched this movie, right on in. to me, all I kept thinking of was, this is the Love Boat with violence. There's like 4 different stories going on. It all comes together somewhat in the middle, somewhat at the end, a little bit in the beginning. And there's like 4 endings to this movie.
I guess in a way.
What do you mean you guess? There's a scene where Bruce Willis walks into the hotel, shoots John Travolta dead, and that's it. That's a wrap on Travolta. That's in the middle of the movie. But then Travolta's alive at the diner scene.
Well, that's just because that scene in the end is technically the beginning of the movie.
Right, but it's not the ending. The ending is Bruce Willis going off into the sunset.
Yeah, that is the ending of the movie technically. Yeah. If you just piece it together.
Yeah. Why are you defending this? It's literally pulp. It is a movie made of just pulp. And then somebody picked it up, threw it on the wall, and said, "This is the order in which we're going to do it."
Well, that's how. Well, I mean, Tarantino accomplished that goal.
Yeah, suckered us all into believing this was a great way to make movies. It was, honestly. I joke, but it was a good movie. The last 45 minutes were an amazing movie. the first 45 could have been trimmed down. That's my hot take on this thing. So yeah. What are your final thoughts on this movie? Would you recommend your generation to watch this movie?
Yeah, definitely. Especially for people that are really trying to understand dialogue and how to write it. Yeah. I think Tarantino is the way to go. Just don't try to replicate his style.
No, okay, yeah, but okay. So from for your film student peers, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But what about your average Joe, right? What about your average
I'd say it's
viewer? Would they enjoy it?
I say it's pretty accessible for the most part. Although I think there are scenes that I think are pretty uncomfortable to watch. Which I mean, yeah, that's what it does.
Do you think it? Yeah, I don't know if it. Some parts of it probably haven't aged well. So there's probably some language in there that people in this era aren't used to hearing from people of those persuasions. Then there's a ton of violence in it. And the funny thing is, it's not like violence for violence's sake. It's just the world these people live in. So yeah, no, I thought it was a good movie. On my scale of thing, I think they wasted a bit of my time, but other people might like that crap. I think there could have been 1 or 2 more explosions for such a violent movie, but here we are.
I mean, it's not that kind of movie. It's not trying to be like this big scale.
Every movie should be that kind of movie. Every movie should be that kind of movie.
No.
Every movie. From rom-coms to...
Do you want Schindler's List to be like an action movie?
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, see? Exactly. You can't have every movie to be action.
That's a good point. But that's what I mean. Those types of movies, no, of course not. They're telling a story that's based on truth. But none of this is based on truth.
No.
So it's a fairy tale. So might as well throw some crap in there. Look, here's why the show is called Smokey and the Snobby. Here's why, right? Can I explain it?
Sure.
Right. It's called Smokey and the Snobby because as I've gotten older and as my son has gotten older, my taste in movies has become very I need you to get to the point. I need you to start blowing shit up and I need to be entertained. Everything in between, I don't care about, right? And so I, jokingly started measuring everything to Smokey and the Bandit because Smokey and the Bandit is pure cinema. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? So that's why I rate everything on a scale of Smokies. So, and there's no rules, there's no nothing. It's just a feeling, right? So I'll give something, what did we watch? Sinners, right? We watched a movie Sinners and I was like, this thing that I don't need to know the backstory of Michael B. Jordan's character from when he was a child. I just know who he is right now and what he's going to do. That movie got 8 Smokies. Great movie. Pulp Fiction, I gave in my head 5 Smokies. Doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
It just means it's average.
It's just in the scale of Smokey and the Bandit. Smokey and the Bandit's still better. Better movie. Sorry.
I could not disagree any further. I'm sorry.
You need to rewatch Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, sure, maybe.
Movie's the best.
At some point, we should.
Cinematic masterpiece. I don't need to know what Burt Reynolds is. Why Burt Reynolds became a bandit. I don't need to know that. I just know he's the bandit and he's got to get the job done. And there's mayhem in between.
All right. Well, I guess we'll.
So the second half of Pulp Fiction, that's 8 Smokies. The first half of Pulp Fiction was 4.5, 5 Smokies.
Where do you? Okay, for me, honestly, I just enjoyed the movie throughout the entire like runtime. I didn't felt like I didn't hate any of like the segments. I all liked them in their own way.
Really? Not one part of that movie where you're like, they could have done better here? No?
I mean, there are certain parts I think could have done better, but overall, I do think this is a like fantastic movie. I think when it comes to some characters, I feel like could have done a little better, like Vincent or like me, I feel like. But besides that, I think the movie's pretty amazing.
I don't know how to respond to that. I thought it was good too. How about that? I thought it was good too. I think rewatching it gave me a better appreciation for it than I did when I was in my youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it happens.
So watching it with kind of this lens made me realize, okay, this was a well-made movie, and if you're young and you watch this, you may not get it the way you get it in your 40s. So I recommend anybody to watch it at Otten's age, to watch it kind of now and maybe into their 20s, and then watch it again when you're 46 and see if you like it.
Yeah, because sometimes our standards for films change all the time. It happens.
I'll be honest, I didn't like it when I was young. I liked it this time. Right. Not that I didn't like it. I didn't really understand it. So therefore I didn't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. A good example is I remember watching Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid. And I thought it was the best movie ever made. It was freaking amazing. I rewatched that with you when you were, I don't know, like 8 or something. Oh my God, it was a terrible movie. Like I can't sit through this. I'm going to have to turn it off. And, so this was the reverse. I didn't really understand or appreciate it when I was young, but I appreciate it more now. So good job, Tarantino. Still not as good as Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoke.
Those aren't Tarantino movies.
I know they're not.
I guess.
Which will be our next episode, by the way. It will be a Guy Ritchie movie. That's for sure.
Sure. I guess we'll think about a Guy Ritchie movie and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of our ratings, what would we give it?
Total?
Yeah.
Like on a Smokey scale, I give it my Smokey scale. I don't,
Okay.
What do you rate this movie?
9 Smokies out of 10.
Really? You give it 9 Smokies based on your Smokey scale? What's your Smokey scale? Mine is explosions, non-meandering plot lines, and Cornswoggle.
So for my standards of film, it's acting, directing, cinematography, pacing, writing, story, editing.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I look at a film.
You have a much more complex scale than I have. Mine is like, don't waste my time, and things just don't blow up.
Well, I mean, I would be like that too if there's like just not funny scenes or just filler scenes.
Just wait. You're young. The whole world's ahead of you. Wait till you're my age and you're like, look, I just need to get to the point. But by the time you're my age, I'll be in my 80s and I won't even give a crap. I'll watch just commercials at that point. That's as much as my attention span will get me. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was a good movie. For me, the first half wasn't as great as the second half. You could probably fast forward most of it and start in the middle and you'll be fine. Start at the scene with Bruce Willis. Like Bruce Willis losing the fight or winning the fight.
No.
Yeah. And that's it. From then on, the movie's pretty good. That's my take. So I don't know how people measure movies, so I don't know anything about this crap. So what would you give this movie a rating if you were a critic, right?
Same rating as I gave.
Just 9?
I gave now.
Gave it a 9 out of 10?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here, folks. He has drank the Kool-Aid, in my opinion. If I was to give it a real rating, the problem is I don't think it deserves a 9, but I don't think it deserves a 6 either. So I'd say like a 7.
Yeah, you just change your opinion.
I'm averaging out the 4 Smokies and the 9 Smokies and bringing it in. You
just gave it 5 Smokies.
I gave it 7 Smokies in all together. Do a remake of it and cut out 30 minutes of the Uma Thurman.
This movie is not one of those movies that needs to be remade.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a cut of it. Maybe I'll do a super cut of it and show you.
Yeah, sure, man.
Maybe you can do a super cut of it. So yeah, I think, well, thank you. I mean, I think that's it. What more could we possibly talk about? Did you want to talk about anything else?
No? I don't have much to say. I think we've basically said our points about it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of fun facts, just our overall thoughts on the movie and our overall thought process.
Yeah. You liked all that stuff?
I did.
Yeah.
Very much.
Do you have any fun trivia? You love trivia about movies. Do you have any fun
this movie actually won Oscar.
It won an Oscar for what?
Best original screenplay.
Really?
Yep.
Actually, yeah. I think that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. You want to know what my fun fact is?
What?
That theme song. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
That's in an Armenian song from Paul.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the goat.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Right.
Okay.
That's the only reason I went to see that movie. I'm like, heck yeah, there's going to be a Paul song in this movie?
I mean, they probably like sampled one of his songs.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an original from Paul. I think there's more to it, but Paul used it in one of his songs, and I used to love that song.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was a love song. Yeah. So that's my fun fact. That's my hot take or fun fact or whatever the hell it's called.
Just fun fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. I think this was fun. Did you have a good time?
I honestly had a great time rewatching it because it gave me...
Yeah.
I don't know. My opinions haven't really changed, probably because I watched it like a couple months ago. So not much of my opinions has really changed.
Right. We watched it together. What did we do? Like a week ago? We watched it together just to kind of refresh. But it was good. It was good. But yeah, I don't know. I think this was fun, Otta, and I think we should kind of move on to the next one and see how things go. It's fun talking to you about this stuff. What do you think? Do you have fun talking to good old Papa Bear about this stuff?
It could be pretty fun, yeah. Although I will say some of the points you say are kind of a bit frustrating. So,
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they can be.
I live to serve. I'm gonna have my opinions, and that's it. It doesn't matter.
But overall, I had fun though.
Look, I'm the average Joe movie watcher guy, right? I just want to be entertained. I don't care what the movie is. I'll watch pretty much anything as long as I'm entertained. I don't care if the story's terrible. Like there's and I guess we'll end on this note. Aden, in my opinion, and you reinforce it or tell me I'm crazy, Aden won't watch certain movies if it just doesn't meet a standard he's looking for in cinema. I'll watch anything as long as I laugh, cry, or go, oh, look at that thing blow up. And that's it.
There's just certain movies I'm just not interested in.
Well, thank you for listening. You'll find out more of the movies he's not interested in because the way we do this is I will pick one movie and he will pick another movie. The next movie, this was Aden's pick. Our next episode will be my pick. And it might be Xanadu. It could be something else. Who knows? But thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. This has been fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
That's it.
All right. Well, that wraps the first episode. See you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye.